Can we just talk to Tom?
Yeah, we're doing this. Tom, can you actually hear us?
Yeah. I was actually just reading your message saying you're playing a game a bit this season. Should be fairly easy. So
Tom's heard it all.
Oh, that is actually true. I did say that to Tom earlier today. Don't worry, Tom. It's we're all good.
All right, Tom.
Did you find that helpful, just getting a bit of a picture of how to talk from the previous two nuffs that we've had already?
This is how we write our material here at Here We Crow. Obviously, we got the Suns this week. It's going to be a huge test for the Crows, and we've got our comeback special from Tom Keough, who was actually on the Suns list once upon a time. He is a big Suns nuffy, and it's great to have him back on. Hey, Tom, how you going?
I'm well, thank you. Yeah, good to actually be on when we're in a bit of form for once, which is nice. And a top four clash. Can't believe I'm saying it this week between the Suns and the Crows, so it should be good.
Well,
crazy, isn't it?
You know what? I know you probably already know this, but for anyone who doesn't, the Suns have actually been pretty good against the Crows in the recent years. They've won 4 out of the last 6 after us winning 13 of the first 13. So they're back in form against the Crows, the Suns, and all of those wins have come at or over in the Gold Coast, either at Metricon or otherwise. So
too sweaty up there. We don't like it.
Yeah. 4 in a row at Metricon, so I'm not feeling overly confident coming up against you guys there this week.
So it was one of those wins in that part of the Gold Coast called Darwin, is that right?
Yeah, might have been. Thanks for pointing out my lack of research, Ben. Yeah, it might have been. Was that during COVID times or something? Let's say it was. Yeah. All right. So obviously a lot to be excited about, Tom, with that Gold Coast team at the moment. Obviously, Matty Rao is dominating so far this year. What have you seen and what have you liked so far?
Yeah, you're right. Also, we don't count those first 10 wins because the first 10 years of the Suns are just a write-off. So we're a formation club still, so we can ignore that. No, it's been good. It's actually been really exciting to watch. I know that we missed round 0, the opening round, which is ridiculous anyway, but I would have counted that as chalked that up as a win against the Bombers. So we should be 3-0. But it's actually been exciting to see a bit more of a balance across the team this year. I mean, Anderson's having a fantastic year. Rao's having a fantastic year in the first couple of games. Sort of not seeing the big, heavy reliance upon the same ball users every time. So I think it's actually been a little bit harder to shut down some of our players. Now we've got Noble, Rioli. They're playing an exciting brand. I wouldn't say it's bulletproof, but it's definitely starting to see the Damien Hardwick ideas coming through because it's pretty exciting. We get the ball on pretty quick. Some nice ball users across half back now as well. So, I've been really enjoying watching, of course, at ridiculous times, Sunday at like 9 p.m. and Saturday at 12 a.m. or something. It's ridiculous the times slots we get. But it's been enjoyable watching.
So, you go.
I was just going to say, Sam Collins is being talked up as the best fullback in the comp as well. How have you seen his game so far?
Yeah, he missed. I think he missed the first game against West Coast, but it was back in on the weekend. And obviously Charlie Ballard, SA boy as well, unfortunately doing his knee in round 1 in a pretty innocuous incident. So we lost him as our sort of young centre back. So to have Sammy Collins come back in, and I reckon he took 3, 4, 5 inset marks in the first half, I reckon, against the D's on the weekend. So not only is he an absolute machine, it'll be a great matchup against Thilthorpe, actually. Both big lumberjack-looking blokes going at it. Should be pretty good watching. So, he's really good for us back there, and obviously a leader as well. So, handy for us.
Definitely
very handy.
A couple of good beards from guys that didn't start on the scene with big beards. They're looking pretty good these days. Samuel, speaking of people with beards.
You brought them up before, Tom, but Noble and Rioli look like massive additions to the side. Just almost a bit like what we've done with a couple of players that were, I guess you wouldn't say that Rioli was fringe, but certainly Noble at Collingwood, and just seem to have had a massive impact at their new clubs. How have you seen them so far this year? Are they just slotted in and just performing like you'd expect?
Yeah, I think it's that change. Obviously I'm on here as a nuffy, and that's exactly all I am, but sort of externally just sort of does not have the confidence to play. Probably, it's a bit stiff on Stewie Dew getting sort of, I suppose, flicked before much opportunity to really show what he could do as a coach, and after some not really bad seasons, but seeing Hardwick come in and now bring in a few experienced players like Noble and Rioli who just run and carry the ball. They're obviously experienced and play at clubs in big games and on big grounds, and I think that's sort of topped up the young list that we have. And I think Hardwick was probably that breath of fresh air that we sort of needed to go, here's someone that's done this before, and obviously won the highest stage. So a bit of belief in the group and adding a few experienced players has definitely helped things as well.
You've brought up someone else who I had next on my list, which was Damien Hardwick. He's obviously a year and a bit in now. What are you feeling? You feeling confident that he can take you where you need to be?
Oh, the dynasty. Yeah, of course. How could you not? We're on. Flag Suns. So I think I thought, like I said, I mean, it's all external views here, and obviously support them and want them to do well. And when your club sort of gets rid of a coach that's probably steadily improved our performance over a few years, it's a big call to make, and you're only going to do that for a coach like Damien Hardwick that comes available. So, I mean, he was tired of coaching in wherever it was, 23, 24, what it was, and then all of a sudden, 12 months later, quick trip to Italy, and our CEO goes over and meets him over there, and obviously did some wonders, and then got him in. So I think it was that next step, and he had a pretty nice, inspiring best and fairest chat at the end of the season that sort of drew a line in the sand a bit. And I think, so far so good. I mean, it's only round 2, and I'm talking about at least finishing top 8 would be nice. But I think we dare to dream as Suns fans. It's sort of about time, we're 14 years, 15 years, what have we been around for now? It's sort of time to get into it and try and play some finals. But I think he's that little bit of belief that the group's been missing.
I don't know. I think you should dim it down a bit.
I was going to ask, how many rounds until everyone starts hating the Suns instead of just hoping that they win a few games?
Yeah, it doesn't take long, does it?
No.
It'll be everyone's second favourite team.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, I've been sort of wanting the Suns to go well, maybe until Dimmer went there. I was sort of hoping that
Hardwick didn't help things at all.
No, not really.
We wanted to see Stewie Drew get some success.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
But Tom, we had a question from Corey in the chat. He just asked if you got the opportunity to play with Isaac at both Westies and Gold Coast.
I did, not Gold Coast. I only was up there for quick. So I played with Isaac. I came back I was away 2016, so came back in 2017. And he actually debuted as a 16-year-old playing league at West Adelaide in the year I was away. So I came back and sort of, obviously I spent some time with him in the under 13s and 14s coming through West Adelaide, and I was one of the coaches sort of coming through, and he's extremely talented, as you see now. But I got back and I had a bit of a groin injury, and the first training, I think he went to sort of, step me, and I just didn't even try. So, supremely talented. I think one day we were playing North Adelaide, and I was down by a few goals, and their crowd's giving it to us on the Robin Hill, and I think he's had 24 touches, 4 goals too. He's bananaed one from the boundary and just given it to the stands. He's 17 years old, and he's just a star. It just makes you realise why you love football, and watching him play as a junior is as exciting as it is now. He's amazing.
Love
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. One other, Dan, you put me way off then. What were you saying?
I was just saying press the Armfield button.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. I just had one more question.
Seamless.
You guys have obviously played West Coast and
Melbourne.
what looked like a very poor quality Melbourne side. Are you a skeptical? Yeah, I guess the Crows, as Crows fans, we're sort of feeling a bit the same as well, having played St Kilda, Essendon, and North Melbourne. So, is that still in the back of your mind that you haven't maybe come up against the top quality sides yet?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our midfield's been on fire at the moment. Anderson's averaging low 30s, clearance king at the moment. But I think when that pressure goes up as well, I think some of the ball movement against Melbourne and even obviously West Coast are still pretty young and developing. I think once we actually feel a bit of pressure, a bit of heat, it did make me happy watching North Melbourne kept clawing it back on yesterday. I was watching the game and sort of saw Crows under a bit more pressure, but I think it should be a bit of a shootout, I reckon, between Crows and Suns this week. So it is definitely a bit sceptical. I'll wait until we sort of play some of the more experienced teams, and when a midfield maybe gets on top of us, we might be able to see how we go then, I think.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, you should remember this from last year, but we just got a little stinger.
Give the kick to Dennis. So we're right behind him, and the Carlton fans are right behind him. Once, twice, 3 times.
Oh, look at that.
Yes! He's the master blaster.
Yes. You know what it is? It's the Dennis Armfield Award, the player most likely to torch the Crows out of nowhere.
I can't remember who you said last year, Tom, but I reckon you nailed it from memory.
Oh. Was it like an Atkins or something? No, who was
Oh,
left?
maybe it was
Not Rackens.
Well, I could have picked Himmelberg, but he hasn't been picked yet. I'm surprised by that.
That's true. Dragon. Are you calling him Dragon over there? That's his name.
Is there a story there?
No, well,
really?
that's just his nickname. His
Yeah,
self-imposed. His self-imposed
Oh,
nickname.
self-imposed. Always the
I
best
think it
ones.
was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really? You can't pick your own nickname.
I think he said he had to come
No.
up with a nickname, and he said Dragon.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's poor.
No, it's
Okay.
funny.
Is it?
He was trying to fire himself up. Come on.
Okay.
But anyway,
Worked
who,
well.
who have you got for us, Tom? Who do you think it's going to be? I think there's a few nominees.
Yeah, no, I've got Ben Long. I've got Longy this week. I reckon he's the one that's going to hopefully to do the job for us. I reckon sort of each week I think he sort of pops in every now and again and surprises me each week, but he brings the heat. So I'm backing him in to kick three important goals, I reckon, for the Suns.
I was thinking about it in the car today, and that's exactly who I thought of. Watching him on the weekend, he's the type of player that just come in and kick 4.
Who do you have, Ben?
Would a Joel Jeffrey be a similar sort of vein?
Definitely.
Tom?
Definitely.
So,
I
got
I agree completely. I think he's actually been better. His pressure, and I thought he was one that maybe we're giving games too early. I thought, oh, is there a future there? And like most, proves me wrong, and I shut up. So the coaches do the job, but he's been actually outstanding this year as well.
That's what you want as a supporter there. You want to be proven wrong. I think Bailey Humphrey for me is probably one that could stand up and kick
He
it
played all right on the
3 or 4.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
his pedigree is a little bit solid for an Armfield.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We shot that down
And,
pretty quick there.
You did. You did.
Get a better suggestion next time, Dan.
Yeah. I'll just shut up.
On your team lineup, it had Connor Buderick at centre forward. Is he playing forward or defence?
Well, he was playing back on the weekend. Not sure why.
Okay,
He's
so the lineup might have been a little bit untruthful.
Probably might have been just some mind games that started. Brody Hewlin actually lined up at centre half back though. He's sort of not too tall and good young defender, but pretty small centre half back.
Yeah,
Bodie's got a brother coming through, doesn't he, next year? Who's apparently pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think the younger, is it Zeke Hewlin?
Zeke, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he tied
these
the Gold Coast?
academies. All about these academies. Keep them up.
Yeah.
That's great. There for the comp. It's
yeah.
brilliant. Happy.
Well,
And do you think, with it being a little bit more humid and possibly slippery, do you think we're going to struggle with our taller forward line? Do you think that won't be such a factor that will go our way?
I think what's the game's it's a midday game, isn't it?
It is, at least
Yeah.
it's not a night game, so it's not as
I
soaky.
think actually you guys would adapt pretty quickly. But yeah, it actually is a bit of a factor when you go up to the humid or even the humid coming down to the southern states. It's sort of really dry on the mouth and everything, the colder temps. But I think this time of year and a middle of the day game probably won't be too bad for the Crows. Unfortunately for us, I don't think it'll be too bad for your lot.
Good.
yeah, I think across the board, the Suns match up a lot better with the Crows than the teams we've played so far. We both were on a similar pegging. I think it's going to be interesting. What do you see happening, Tom? What's your tip? Who do you think will win and by how much?
I really, really want to say the Suns. I want to say we're a chance.
You should do it.
I'll back us in there, but I think it's going to be 2 kicks either way. I don't think any team's winning by more than 10 to 15 points. So I'll say us by 10 points. I think it's going to be close.
It's going to be a tough one for
Definitely.
sure.
Yeah, I agree. Tom, thank you so much for coming on Here We Crow again. We love to have you in and hopefully we'll have you on again in the future. Let's hope the Suns have a great season, but just not this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks,
See you at the
Tom.
GF, Tom.
See ya. Book those tickets.
Cool do.
All right, thanks, mate.
Thanks, Tom.
Cheers, legend.